Thanks for stopping by again on such short notice. Back for another self-indulgent showing of vinyl albums, which is something we like to call a douche-isode. We've got some American shoegaze, Midwest, indie rock, couple of UK indie pop records, and a Feelies related LP. Yeah, so I'd held this video up for a few weeks. I was waiting on one last 2023 release. I feel like it's maybe being held up from all the holiday mail or whatever. I expected to have it 2 or 3 weeks ago, so maybe I'll never get it. Nonetheless, we're gonna run with it. We're gonna run with it anyway, and let the chips fall where they may. This is the second LP from a guy named Will Anderson, who goes by the band name or artist name Hotline TNT. The album is called Cartwheel on Third Man Records. This is shoegaze, mostly loud, dense, swirling effects, but also with a bit of like bandwagon-esque, like early Teenage Fan Club vibes in it at times. Also some Pixies vibes in spots. Not so much that the music overall has any resemblance to like early Pixies, just that there's there's riffs. There'll be a riff at the foundation of a track that's very Pixies-like, I guess I would say. Almost at certain times you'll hear and be like, you'll almost get a Pixie song. Just start humming a Pixie song. Here's the insert that came with it. There's a lot of words on there. It talks about bands they've been touring with, bands they've been listening to, etc. And then it has a like newspaper a poster on like newspaper. I don't know if you'll see it. Yeah. And this one is, I don't know if there's special varieties. This one's just on some fairly delicious black vinyl. Say what you will about Third Man, they can usually, they can usually push out the delicious black vinyl. So when I re-listened to this, because it's been a few weeks now, when I re-listened to this again this morning, the band Hum kind of came to mind. I've seen this described as kind of shoegaze with power pop kind of together. I was thinking maybe like Gigolo meets Hum. That's my silly comparison for the day. Anyway, previously had like a handful of EPs and then their debut LP on the Oakland, California label called Smoking Room. This is their first album or first release on Third Man Records. I suspect this is going to help them get, reach a much wider audience. I've already seen a lot of positive press on this as well. We're checking out if you like yourself a little 90s stuff. You like a little shoegaze. Vocals are pretty buried. I know that doesn't work for some people. For some reason on the back it says, please write to our attorney for all legal matters. Maybe they're expecting a lawsuit. So Hotline TNT, Cartwheel.
Crisp, clean cut to the taste. refreshing.
I went to the dentist earlier this week to get a crown, basically a crown put on one of my teeth. I don't know if you've ever had that done, but it felt like for at least 2 days after, I could still like not really taste, but kind of smell, like, you know, because the friction of getting your tooth ground off, you can kind of just still sense that and smell it. It's something else. All right, this is a duo from Madison, Wisconsin. They're called Red Pants. And the album is not quite there yet. This is on Meritorio Records. Calling this kind of indie rock, noise pop, shades of Yo La Tengo in places. It's you know, boy-girl shared vocals, some energetic, louder moments, some more somewhat introspective cuts mixed in, but it's still pretty raw, yet cohesive. Gets a little droney, a little fuzzy. Is the printed insert. So a little bit of something like Yo La Tengo, something in that vein a little bit, but also mixed with maybe like 90s Pacific Northwest indie rock or something. It is, vocals are occasionally a little bit twee, I would say. Show you the color on this one. Kind of blue. Yeah, Red Pants. Not quite there yet.
Hey, hey, now it's pitching out. Some strange views from beyond the town. Come on. Got a halo, come on.
So definitely don't wait for me to offer you a nibble of my meat stick. Just head over to the cupboard, help yourself, and while you're over there, as always, feel free to grab yourself a cold beverage. All right, next, this is a band out of Sheffield, England. It's their second LP in 2 years and their second LP overall. Their first LP took 30 years from the time they formed to the time it was released. So they went 30 years, one album, and then another album a year and a half later or something like that. Called the Suncharms. Album is called Things Lost. It's on Sunday Records. This is noisy, jangle pop. See many comparisons to, say, early Teenage Fan Club. Once again, we're mentioning your Teenage Fan Club. And like bands like the Pastels, Getting Itchy in the Neighborhood. The vocals are sort of hushed, the guitars are really a lot of distortion, and it really feels like a record that was recorded in the early 90s, like on a small label. It has that kind of atmosphere to it. Show you the fancy pants vinyl on this one. I don't know what you might call that. Kind of marbled something or other. Anyway, I guess not too long ago they were still broken up. They were broken up for a long stretch of time. But they were approached by I forget the label, but they were approached by a label to be featured on a compilation. This was just a few years ago. And that's what wound up bringing them, having them reform and then releasing an album. And now this is the second one. There is a song on here called Satanic Rites, kind of like that as a Satanist. There's also Demonic Eyes. Definitely wouldn't call this satanic music. But, you know, I like where their head is at it, though, at least. Anyway, the Suncharms, Things Lost.
Budweiser and pour yourself the most inviting glass of beer you've ever tasted. Cold golden Budweiser with that good taste for good times.
Next up, this is a band called Wild Carnation, album called Superbus. This is their second LP for Wild Carnation. It was released in 2006 originally. This is a reissue, first time on vinyl. And it was self-released in 2006, which was 12 years after their debut LP, 1996 album called Tricycle. That album was just released for the first time on vinyl earlier this year, I believe, for Record Store Day, and it has since been repressed. So that one is easily available. This one is maybe not so much. This features Brenda Sauter, if I'm saying that right, Sauter of of the Feelies, and that's really what probably puts the asses in the seats for this record. You know, the interest in the Feelies. Anyway, this is really terrific indie pop with a prominent kind of droning organ sound underneath it, which is an addition versus the album Tricycle. I don't think there was really that sound involved. So this kind of sets it apart from that one. Brenda Sauter's vocals are often, or vocal style is often compared to Mo Tucker. This is really just a really terrific album. If you haven't heard it, you can stream it, because you should just try to listen to it one way or the other. You might like it. The vinyl release of this is on Pine Hill Records. I don't think they press very many of them. There's two versions. Mine's just on the black vinyl. I think there's less than 100 on black vinyl and maybe 100 on some other on a fancy pants colored vinyl, which I did not get. Maybe a little bit of something like Comida. Maybe you like something like this. If you're just interested in the Feelies, I think this is 100% worth checking out. I don't know if it necessarily scratches that. I don't know if it would necessarily scratch that same itch for you, but I think this is terrific and definitely worth checking out. Wild Carnation, Superbus.
Morning sun, dancing on the sea, it's fun. Traffic's fine, and above there is a sign that tells the place where we'll soon be. Taking the long way there, my eyes can rest on sleeping land. The road that I'm on said, this way we've gotta go. Upside down, it's turning you around. Now it's inside out, it's turning you about. Got to go slow, lay low, find which way the wind blows. Try to hang tight, feel right, get about tonight.
Another reissue here. I've had this one kicking around for a while. I don't know if it came out in 2023 or the end of 2022. I'm not really sure. This is a Glasgow indie pop group called the Hermit Crabs, and the album is Saw You Dancing on Matinée Recordings and Daydream Records. This was originally released in 2007. This is it's a bit sophisticated twee pop, chamber pop, a little jangly, a little folky, has maybe some 60s sunshine pop influences, well-crafted songs, a fair bit of string arrangements on here. It does feature members of Teenage Fan Club playing on it, along with Camera Obscura guests on here also. I'll show you the insert. So, definitely influenced by Belle and Sebastian, camera obscura. This is the first time on vinyl, and they put it on some fancy pants vinyl here. You know, I don't know. This is like splatter vinyl. Definitely worth checking out for someone that's a fan of like camera obscura, that kind of thing, and you're just looking for something more in the vein of that sort of thing. I feel like it's probably overall just too twee for a lot of people, and maybe the vocals don't stand out as much necessarily, but I enjoy it. You might like it. The Hermit Crabs, Saw You Dancing.
When I saw